World's greatest dad, world's greatest dad, world's greatest dad, meow, 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 meow. World's greatest dad. Good?
Yeah, I felt every single beat of like the Full House intro that I think you and I both envision.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a little rockier than that, but a little less corny.
Yeah, it's more just the sequence of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm at Golden Gate Park. Hey, I just walked in the house. Hey, I'm in the kitchen. You know, like just I felt all those little vignettes, if you will.
Sure.
I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm here. I'm here. I'm feeling it. For the record, we did have a little intro. We had a technical snafu, but I want to get something out of the way.
Okay.
I was like 12 for TGIF. So I wasn't like some 16-year-old, you know what I mean? I just want to, like I was at home watching Family Matters because I couldn't go anywhere. So in some ways, like, was it really that different? I suppose, like,
If you were 12, I was 2, but I wasn't 2 when Family Matters was on. So perhaps what are we talking? Season 1? Before Urkel
yeah,
even became the main character?
yeah, you're right. You're right. It was, yeah, yeah. I saw a post the other day, and it was of Jaleel White and whoever played Laura Winslow, and Laura Winslow.
Ellie Shanghai Williams?
Is that her name?
I think so. I said that pretty fast. Too fast for Google, huh?
Yeah, I don't. I'm just in many ways. I continue to be awed with
Reginald
you.
Ben Johnson?
No,
Um,
that was the dad. I mean, dude, that guy's in Die Hard. I mean,
Mary Jo Payton?
that sounds right.
Eddie, played by Darius McCrary.
Yeah. Didn't he die? Did he
No,
die?
you fucking insensitive jerk.
No, you're right. Never mind. We don't need to. Why get into something? It was just,
Yeah. You put some respect on Malcolm Jamal Warner's name, Ollie.
I was a huge fan. A huge fan. In fact, I even had a good friend of mine in college in the early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s, who was basically a Malcolm Jamal Warner doppelganger. Like had similar hair. People
Was
would be
his
like, "Hey,
name was his name Darius McCrary?
nah, Mozzie Jamal."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Mozzie. Oddly enough, he had a famous father. You may have heard of him if you ever listened to Rage Against the Machine. Mumia Abu Jamal. He's a famous death row prisoner. Yeah, yeah, getting heavy. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How about?
Uh, does he want to be on the show? He's a dad.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Mumia is Mozzie does not have kids, so
Yeah, that's
yeah.
okay. You could
Our
talk about
best bet.
having a dad. This is world's greatest dad. Maybe his dad's the world's greatest dad.
I never thought about that. Is it okay? Is this a sun space too? Seems like it would make sense, right? I mean, that's the other half of it. All I'm doing is talking about my kid.
Well, we all
My
have dads
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form at some point, even if you never knew them.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets sticky if you think about it.
Well,
If you
that's
think
how we
about it.
got here in the first place. It got sticky. All right, let's move on. So, hey, welcome to World's Greatest Dad, everyone. Thanks for listening to insert episode number. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably like 50 at this point. We're so backlogged.
That was the goal. I mean, go us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're going to hit 50. And then we stop, right? We hit 52 and then it's over. We did it.
It's turned into, I think, exactly the sweet spot, which is it's habit. It's
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if I could make, maybe we should do like schedule you and I do other things scheduled. Like, what other habits do I want to form? Like a workout. We should do just workout podcast. Um, not eat in the middle of the night. If I made it a podcast, maybe I would do it.
Do
I would
you eat in the middle of the night? You don't do that, do you?
sometimes, occasionally,
Wait. Like, do you like wake up from slumber and go eat, or you just eat late at night?
both. Yeah,
Shut up. You do not wake up in the middle of the night and eat.
sure. Yeah, I'm getting better. This is one of those things where, speaking of dads, I watched my dad do this. I remember, like, he'd wake up, from a sleep and go into the kitchen and have a snack and then go back to bed.
Holy, really?
And
No
we never really
way, really?
talked about it, and so like these behaviors seep in. Um, yeah. Oh, my relationship with food is very messed up. Welcome to World's Greatest Dad, everyone. Not World's Greatest Therapy Session with Ali Khan. He's not trained. His wife is.
We've abandoned that format. Now it's just us. There's no with. It's us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I got promoted very fast, I'll say.
Didn't take you long. I think
Hey,
you had my job from day one.
all right. So this is the trends episode. I know you're all very excited. You've been waiting with bated breath. You're like, one of these guys going to talk about trends. Don't worry, Ali. I did all the homework.
Okay, good. Yeah,
So
you usually do.
it's a new year. Well, it's a new school year. It's a new
Yeah.
Jewish New Year. When's Chinese New Year? That's probably coming up in a few months. I don't know, right?
I don't know. It sounds delicious. What year is it? Is it 54?
Okay, I should know this because I put it on Instagram.
I
What?
know, and that's how I knew. I was like, wow, you know what? This is what was fascinating, Neil. I was like, like I know, and I know this because I feel like most of the Jewish people I've met in my life have been Reform Jews. I don't really know any like Hasidic Jews like well, or whatever, or at all. I mean, I've seen them around, but I've never been like, hey, you want to hang out sometime? That's just, I don't know. I'll have to dive into what's stopping me there.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people just, it's like how I describe myself, like, oh, my parents are Bengali, like,
Hmm.
but me personally, like, I don't speak the language. I'm very peripherally aware of the culture. But when I saw your post and you knew the year, I was like, Neil, like, are you like how like what
I
is
had to
the
look it up.
extent
I
of
have to
your
look it up.
interest?
No, well, I'll tell you. It's one of those things that I knew we were in the 5,000s. In fact, I
Okay,
think I knew we were beyond like 5,500. But outside
okay,
of that, it's one of those things that's like, enters my brain for a few hours on Rosh Hashanah
uh-huh,
every year and then
yeah,
leaves. And then I got to look it up again. So luckily we've got the
okay.
old Google machine here. I'll tell you, it's the Jewish year 5786. And I'm still writing 5785 on my checks.
Jesus.
Kidding. No, I'm writing 2025. It's a Christian nation. Um, but no, I look, I would consider myself, I am Jewish. I am a Jewish man. And I always have been, and my kids are Jewish, and that's part of the
Do
thing, right?
they go to Hebrew school? Do
My
you
daughter,
read Hebrew currently? Like,
my daughter goes to Hebrew school. My son will go to Hebrew school,
okay,
and they learn Hebrew. I don't think they're not learning to speak Hebrew or learn what any of it means. They're learning how to read phonetically so that they can then chant prayers that they also don't understand, which was
that's
my.
a lot though. That's work. That's like learning French, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
which my daughter is also doing. Yeah, she's learning. Yeah, but that she's actually learning to speak. So,
Yeah,
and actually, my son
close
is
enough.
learning. What am I talking about? My son is a few weeks into learning French too. It's just he knows bonjour. He knows excusez-moi. I think that's it.
So he could say hello, bonjour, and shalom.
Yeah, I think he knows shalom. I don't know. I'll ask him tonight. Um, but no,
It's impressive.
I don't know if I ever told you this. So do you know? Because I'm curious. You don't know any or many Orthodox Jews, and I know some because I am Jewish, and so we all kind of know each other. Um, yeah.
Right. You wouldn't
So
go to the same synagogue, would you?
no, but like it's malleable. Like for instance, some people grow up with a certain level of observance, and then they become less observant. But then their parents and friends and
Oh.
family, are still Orthodox, and they're still connected to them. And so then you
So
meet
you know
them.
Orthodox that kind of fell off the wagon.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, like I have family and in-laws who are Orthodox or observant, right? So, but the interesting thing is, so I don't know how familiar you are with. There's different sects within Orthodox, as there are in many religions, and the Chabad Jews are the ones who. So Jews don't proselytize, but
I
they.
don't even know what that means. What?
It's not illegal. All right, I'm not talking about that other thing. Proselytize. Jews don't try to get other people to join the religion.
I love it already.
Yeah, we don't, which is may account for our small numbers. That and that other thing that happened in the 40s. But
I shouldn't, damn it. Cut that part out. Go on, go on. That came out
well,
weird. You made it into that.
now the Malcolm Jamal Warner comment doesn't seem so bad, huh?
It's true.
Anyway,
I'm actually trying to make up for that one.
so no, but so the whole thing is we don't proselytize to make other non-Jews Jewish to bring people into the fold, but Chabad Jews, they proselytize within the religion where it like they want me, not me, but like people who are like kind of like casual Jews to be more Jewish. And so I don't know
Mm.
if you ever been walking around New York City or a big city and they say, "Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish?" And they want to know, "Hey, come do a mitzvah, come wrap tefillin." So the funny thing is, I look like this, and
I know.
despite my 23andMe results, telling me very firmly I'm 100% Ashkenazi Jewish.
Hmm.
My wife says she's never seen anybody get 100% before. Even my dad was 99%. How am I more Ashkenazi Jewish than him? But however, I look like this, and
Yeah.
I don't look Jewish. And so as a result, I've been living in the tri-state area for the last 40 years, but never have I been asked, "Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? Do you want to
Yeah.
come do a mitzvah? Are you Jewish?" Um, cut to this summer, as you know, we were in Europe. We were in Paris,
Yeah.
and this gentleman with a beard and a hat, he said, "Are you Jewish?" And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And my wife was like, "Hey, you've never been asked before. Isn't this exciting?" And she
Yeah.
said, go ahead, do it." And so I wrapped tefillin, um, which don't ask me what that is. It's like kind of like those things at in the pool table, for the cue ball stick. It's kind of like
Yeah.
those little boxes, and then like leather straps, and you wrap it around your arm. And here I am on the streets of Paris,
Seriously? Wow,
and
crazy.
I and
Okay.
I and I don't know. He was like he was it's I'm now a number that he gets to check off. Or yeah, I got one guy to do a good thing, do a mitzvah. I know it's like trying to get closer to God, wrapping these around your arms, and so I did it,
You
and it
just did
felt
this on the street or whatever? You
on the
just had
street
the
with
equipment
people
on him?
watching, and it was a nice feeling to connect with being Jewish all over the world because we are
Wow.
all over. We are a diaspora. Jews are
Yeah.
everywhere. You turn
Yeah.
around, you might see a Jew. I mean, not in Saudi Arabia. We're not allowed there, but besides, there or Iran, or
What about the comedy festival?
oh, the Riyadh Yeah, there's some Jewish comics who are going there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
maybe
maybe.
they're trying to switch things up, you
Yeah,
know?
maybe they're making a turn. So yeah, so no, I got to do tefillin on the streets of Paris and feel more Jewish in Europe than I have in New York, which is so weird. But yeah, so it's the year 5786. Happy New Year, everybody. Shana Tova. And let's get
Oh
into
my
it. Let's
God,
get
I
into
just
tonight's
always said
episode, huh?
Shana Tova.
You can
I
say
feel like,
whatever you want.
oh, really?
Shana Tova,
Okay.
Shana Tova, Shana Tova, Shana.
But the way you say it sounds really
I don't even know how to spell Hanukkah. I'm still like,
H
just,
or CH, whatever
I know, but I'm
works.
always able to get two K's. Is it two N's? It's a tough one. It's like
You know,
Mississippi.
just to share a little common ground, back when it was back when Snapchat was kind of more, I think, prevalent across the board with age groups. There was the whole, like, I think it was called a Bitmoji. You know what I mean? And you would just like
Yeah.
have a little emoji of yourself, or whatever. But it was using kind of something that was more. The app was ingrained into Snapchat, and I remember, like, this was like kind of heyday of like cheap eats and stuff. So I'm like posting, and you didn't have to bother with videos and stuff because people weren't doing that. And I would, be being me, Mr. like, hey, look at this friendly guy. He's friends to everyone. I would like, how there's like, these silly things like National Cheeseburger Day, any holiday, including faith-based holidays,
Hmm.
I would bust out my little Bitmoji, and it would be like I'd have, I mean, whatever, Eid, Hanukkah, Christmas, all that kind of, probably a Diwali went in there too. Just because I was like, oh yeah, sending the positive vibes. That was part of the brand. Positive vibes guy. Positive vibes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm
You are
aware
a
of the
positive
H or
vibes
C.
guy. Are you still a positive vibes guy?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because when I look at the state of the world today, it's quite challenging for me to just stay that way. I feel like if you do it, you're kind of ignoring exactly what's happening, and that's why actually I even said it when I did my Substack blast. I was like, like for a long time I tended to avoid getting into like stuff that's too divisive, but it's like we're at the point of no return now. We're at the point of no return now where you can't not have something to say about what's happening. And I think the straw that broke this camel's back was Jimmy Kimmel. That's when I would, if there's one thing where I would say, no, 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 that is wrong. It is a well-intentioned comic saying something, saying something. Yeah, that's what I think. That's just my point of view, Neil. People can have a different point of view, and that's fine too. You can share that, and we can do this and not worry about getting killed or beat up. That sucks too.
For
I don't
now,
want to be beat up either.
let me ask you a question. Do you think if Jimmy Fallon was around in the 1800s, he would have had Jefferson Davis on the show?
It's a hot topic, but I mean, let's be honest.
He
It's
had
NBC.
Gutfeld. He's had
NBC's
Greg
pulling the
Gutfeld.
strings.
Hmm?
Yeah. NBC's pulling the strings, really, and
Okay.
Jimmy would capitulate, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you think that would go? You think you'd be like, Jefferson Davis, you're so great, you're so great. You did a lot of things. So you want slavery to continue? That was so good, so good, so good.
Yeah. And look, I'm the guy who, I'll say this, I'll put myself on the chopping block. In between Kimmel or Fallon, wow, they're both named Jimmy. Isn't that interesting?
A lot of Jimmys. There was another Jimmy, Jimmy Corden. He got cut, but just for being mean, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, look, I think I'll say it. I think I probably have a little bit more Fallon in me than you would think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if
We don't need to hear about what you did in college, Ollie.
yeah, it's fair enough. Jefferson Davis, though, it'd be a big ask. That would be a big ask for me.
I mean,
But
it's a big country. You want to get, what? You're just going to leave half the country on the table. You get Abraham Lincoln. You get
yeah,
Jefferson Davis. Like
yeah.
you do the best. I think you got to represent both sides if you're Jimmy Fallon in the 1800s. What do you think?
You know what? You gotta have. You can't have your ABs without your JDs, which is why on the next World's Greatest Dad, we're getting JD Vance.
Hey, he's a dad. He's a dad. He wants to talk about the family and dictating how you can run your family and what rights you have as a family. So,
I
yeah, all
just
right.
he sure
Good thing no one
yeah.
listens to this, huh? Otherwise, we'd be sent to
Canceled by
Siberia.
who? We'd be embraced by the other side. I don't know. Like I said, Jimmy Kimmel is a straw that broke this camel's back. So there you go.
All right. Well,
And maybe if
Camel, I think you have a lovely back. Let's get to the trend episode, shall we?
yeah, let's go. Let's go.
This is World's Greatest Dad Parenting Trends 2025
Okay.
Fall Edition. All right. For the audio folks, they're going to think that was like we have an announcer, but it wasn't
Yeah.
me. All right. So, Ollie, I saw this article. It's called 8 Parenting Trends We Hope to Say Goodbye to in 2025. It was a piece in Parents, the publication Parents.
Okay.
Little on the nose, but that's okay. Beth Ann Mayer, let's give her flowers. She's the journalist who put together 8 parenting trends we hope
Okay.
to say goodbye to in 2025. Number one, kids with luxe skincare routines. Are you familiar with this trend? Kids who have nicer, like, skincare products than their parents.
No, I'm not familiar with it. I'm actually known in my house to be the person that's. In fact, the other day, Heath goes, "You need to work on your hygiene," because I was just showing how I made improvements with a corn on my little toe. I got the
Hmm.
little thing that you put on there, and it works. Even the generic one I bought, did work. Yeah,
What's the gen- I
definitely
was going to
feeling.
say you want to plug the product, but now it sounds like you're just going to be plugging like a CVS brand. Like what?
Yeah, yes. I don't know. I don't even know if it's even that's still too name brand
Mm.
for the product I had. But yeah, I resisted Band-Aid or whatever the premium the Johnson and Johnson version was. But yeah, it's funny. My wife will push some like creams and stuff on my kid, and it is funny. I'm noticing him like he's a teen. You know what he does now? He wears a chain. He's like wearing a chain, and I see him, and I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, I'm the man. Like I remember, like yeah, I think at one point when I was a kid, I was like, I want to wear a chain. I want to look cool. But me, I'm using the generic thing to get rid of the corn on my toes, so I don't know anything about premium skincare product.
No chain for Mr. Khan. Um, I
No.
had a chain. I had a chain. I had an earring. I had a.
You
Oh,
did?
I did.
Really?
Yeah. The kids want
Was
me to
it a
get.
hoop or was it the just a
I
little
had a
stud?
diamond stud. It wasn't a real, like a fake diamond stud.
But
I
still,
thought that was cool. I'll try to find a
yeah.
picture. And I did do a hoop for a bit. Little gold hoop. Again, not real gold. That was
Whoa.
I was like, I needed to rebel. I needed to be
Yeah.
not, you know, a jock. I was different. And then at some point in college, I took it out and I never went back. And I've noticed guys in their 40s now are doing the earrings, and I think it's over for me. I don't think I can go back. I think it would be too weird.
I wanted to have earrings when I was young. I was like I remember there was some commercial. I don't know if it was like Andre Agassi, but it was somebody and he had double hoop
Yeah,
earrings.
yeah, Agassi. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
and
cool.
I was like, I remember this kid was like, "Whoa, he's got double hoop earrings." But I realized something sad but true, and the AirPods kind of hiding it. I have a connected earlobe, and I don't want anyone paying attention to that. It's just not. I have Buddha ears. It's not, you
Can I
know,
tell you? You know what's burned into my memory is so my mom took me to get my ear pierced. How I can't get much cooler than that, you know?
totally.
At age
Versus doing it in the garage, maybe.
sure,
You know, how
sure.
about that?
We
Yeah.
went to Claire's in the mall,
Know it well. Know
and
it well.
she took me to get my ear pierced, and I came
How old
home
were you?
14, 13 or 14. Um, and I
Wow.
walked into the house, and I remember my dad was at the top of the stairs, and we hadn't told him what we were going to do,
It was secret.
and he saw it, and he goes, ah, ah. He was so upset. Like, what?
Oh,
Like you were a hippie. Like what? Like
yeah.
the way that parents become so conservative all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he had long hair, you know. No tattoos though. My parents are very anti-tattoo. You know, I don't know if that's
Huh.
a Jewish thing. All right, so that's the trend. So you're not familiar with this, but that is one of the trends that Beth Ann Mayer is hoping disappears in 2025. Trend number two. Have you heard about this? Sleep maxing. Sleep maxing.
What's
Okay,
that?
and
Sleeping as much as possible?
yeah, it's just influencers bragging about how much sleep they get.
You know what? Not only is that low lift content, but watch, I that's going to be talking about that. It's
What?
true. That's all this is. It's like, hey, what am I watching now? Hey, I slept a lot. I'm going to talk to you about
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sleep.
yeah, yeah. So it's just like I mean, I kind of appreciate that the brag is not, oh, we were in Barbados. It's, oh, I slept 10 hours. But, maybe they're sleeping 10 hours in Barbados. I don't know. But this whole thing is, so they're putting it in the context for parents of, well, a lot of parents don't get to sleep as much as you little
Yeah.
influencer or parent with 3 nannies. How dare you? I'm just a regular working stiff. I've got to wake up at 5 with my kids. So there's a study. There was a study in 2019. Parental sleep doesn't return to pre-pregnancy levels until your child turns 6.
That actually, as much as I'm not someone who reads or listens to studies or scientists, oh, that's not true. I will if I'm sick, I'll listen to the doctor. But that actually makes sense. Yeah, 6 is when things, it's like toilet training is covered. They're going to school, so they should be tired all the time. So yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense to
Yeah.
me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a 5 and 7 year old, and we're like the kids will come, like I'll feel my daughter over the foot of our bed like a stalker, just like sometimes at like 6:03, like I am here. It is time. Emerge, you know? Um, yeah. So then I'm like, all right, what do you want for breakfast? And we're going. So, and she's 7, so you would think maybe she's. I remember there was a time.
You're
Oh,
already hoping she'd cook for herself, aren't you?
well, I'll tell you, I don't remember how old his kids were, but I feel like they were around this age. Brian Lando had told me the little inside baseball here. He said, "Ah, it's great when your kids, they're at the age now. They'll just go downstairs, get themselves a bowl of cereal, turn on the TV, and you guys can sleep in." But we're not there yet. We're not there
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
still at the like. If my daughter grabs the milk, it's over. Like she can't hold the gallon of
Physically
milk.
handle that.
She doesn't have the strength yet, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, a little weight training, lightweight, some three
Yeah.
pounders
We'll get into it.
might get her caught up.
All right, I got
Yeah.
another one for you. 8 parenting trends we hope to say goodbye to in 2025. Number 3. Have you heard about Inchstone parties? Inchstone parties.
No. What is that?
I hadn't either. So you know what a milestone is, right?
Oh my god. This is from the people that brought you. Hey, I slept 11 hours. Hey guys, what's up? Keep going. Keep
Okay,
going.
Inchstone parties.
This is
Um,
amazing.
Parents are throwing full-blown parties, celebrations for like losing your first tooth or like your first potty training success, and they're calling them inchstones
Whoa.
instead of milestones.
Right.
So like, oh, congratulations, you lost a tooth. Let's have a party. Your
Yeah.
inchstone party.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I can relate to this because I remember. And this is what's interesting is some of this stuff simply involves to a degree younger kids as well, right? I have a 13-year-old, he's going to be 14 in freaking less than 2 months, right? So that's my perspective or whatever, right? But I will relate it to this. When we had Heath's first birthday party when he turned 1, I remember a friend of mine said, "Oh yeah, that party is just for the parents. They're 1, they don't know, they don't care. Like you're getting all this stuff, but it's like really, you're buying decorations and you're getting all this freaking beer." And I think all these little parties are just really excuses for parents to be social, and maybe that's not a bad thing. Yeah, because as you mentioned in one of your Monday musings, you love kids' birthday parties,
I do.
right? Because
Well,
this is how you can be social when you have young children. So there's some real validity to the bigger picture, in my opinion, of this.
no.
So that's cool. But they're saying it's over?
No, they're just saying now there's even more parties. There's inchstone parties.
I'm for it. I'm actually, and at first I mocked it, but now I think that's
Good.
great.
Well, and
Yeah.
speaking of changing your mind, you mentioned that I wrote an entire blog post about how much I love kids' birthday parties, and I
Yeah.
want to qualify it. I want to be like Malcolm Gladwell here, being like, that book I wrote? Forget that. Did you see that he did that? He was just like, what was he? He reversed course on like on his entire thing. Anyway, forget Malcolm Gladwell. This isn't. He's not on this podcast. He doesn't even have kids. He has a dad probably. Um, No, but I had to take Zeke to a birthday party. I drew the short straw because it was like, because this is the thing. I like birthday parties for my first kid, where I know all the parents, and that's kind of our social circle, and it's more fun. But birthday parties for my kindergartner, where I'm like at this, event space, and I don't know anyone, and
Whoa,
I'm
whoa, whoa,
like,
whoa! Hang on. Why is it you are social with your daughter's, uh, your daughter's friends' parents, but not Zeke's?
there's a few of them I like. I don't know. I don't think we're the only ones. I think this is a common thing, at least in Brooklyn, in New York, where
Really?
families with multiple kids, two or three kids, your social circle is the first kids, friends, and
That's
families, and yeah, and then the second one. Is that bad? I don't think I'm the only one.
to be blunt. I don't know what I don't know because we just have one kid, you know. So, yeah, and also like you're Neil. There are all kinds of things. There are some particular moves you make. I mean, so I have to question a little bit, but to
Right.
know that it's a larger phenomenon, I'm gonna ask friends who have multiple kids about
Please,
that
yeah.
because that's interesting.
I want to
That
dive
is
into it
interesting.
more. We should do another give more fuel to this topic and do it justice. We got to make our way through the trends.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
cool though.
I'll
Interesting.
say though, someone said to me at this birthday party, one of the parents I actually knew was like, "You're good at small talk," and I was like, I'm good at small talk if I know you. If I've been introduced to you, if we've had a few conversations,
Uh,
and this is part of that thing that my wife does really well is she's almost like does the vetting for our social life. Oh, I met this person, they're great, oh, come, and then I kind of walk into a situation like I'm like, you know, she's like the chief of staff of our family, and that's not really fair to her to have to do all that work, but I will
yeah.
say like the uh just mind-numbing painful part of and who's your kid? Oh, okay. Yeah, and where are you guys from? And like having to suss out, do I want to keep talking to you? Do I like you? That part sucks. But once you get to know someone, yeah, I could shoot the shit after
I
that.
get it. I mean, you really want to have a dossier in front of you. Like you need to be prepped. It's kind of like when we have a guest, but
Sure.
that's you in real life when you deal with other parents. It goes, all right, I'm liking what I see. You know what it is? You only show up for the second interview.
So I understand you guys own a condo, and you've got an upstate house as well. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. This came across my desk and I wanted to personally follow up. What is it like having that cabin? That must be nice. You get out of this city. That's why I'm here because I heard about that.
That's right.
That's
Let me tell you
amazing.
something about this birthday party, by the way. On the list, it was like it was we live in New York. Some celebrities live here. It was like kid
Ooh.
name, kid name, kid name, kid name, kid name, celebrity parents, kid name, kid name, kid name. And I'm like, could you be a little more obvious that you're trying to get this celebrity family to come to your kid's birthday party? It was a little bit gauche.
Can you say who it was?
No. All right. Trend number 4, Halloween lasting 6 days. Halloween is now, I'm for this trend. I do not want this trend to go away. I don't
Okay.
understand why anyone would want this trend to go away. Why would you not want Halloween I want it to be all month. I think October should just be Halloween month. We're trick-or-treating every day. We're wearing different costumes. In fact, I think I maybe have mentioned this before. When my daughter was 8 months old, we put her in 31 costumes for Halloween. It's true.
What?
Yeah.
First of all, how do you even get 31 costumes?
Time and effort and
I
stick to it.
couldn't even think of 31. That's like exhausting. Even to
Right.
just sit here with the internet. That's insane.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. 31 costumes. And then when our son people were asking, "Are you going to do 31 days of Halloween for Zeke?" And we said, "No. No, we're not."
Wow.
Yeah.
I
It was
feel
fun.
I'm feeling for Zeke. I feel like he's just
I
this
know. Poor dad.
He gets 80% of dad, maybe
Yeah.
on a good day. On a
Yeah.
good day.
Yeah.
31 costumes, really?
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, it's true.
Did you like come? Was one like, hey, you're a ghost, and you just put a sheet on with some
No, they were
holes?
pretty good. They were pretty good. I'll dig them up. I don't have them at the ready, but I'll share them with you. They were good.
I mean, yeah, like I remember we would go to like a costume store or something, or whatever, a rental place. I don't know what it was, and it was like a thing. We had to like, we
Yeah.
finally found the one thing. It was almost like say yes to the dress, but to a costume. This
Ooh,
was pre-pandemic. This was pre-pandemic, and then at some point it all smoothed out.
I like that.
You
Say
know?
yes to the costume. That's fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that could be a yeah, yeah.
All
He's
right,
very
next
particular.
trend that this
Yeah.
journalist wants to see, the next parenting trend they want to see disappear this year. This was an interesting one. Shopping cart judgment. So I guess there is this trend online. This went viral. Some people are they're treating it like a test of morality. Um, like, do you return your shopping cart or do you just leave it next to your car? And people are going viral, and it's dividing the internet because some people are saying, look, I got a screaming kid in my car. I can't walk 40 yards. I'm not going to leave my kid alone in the car to go return this thing. Someone will grab it or they won't. Like, that's not my problem. And then other people are saying, you're a bad person for not returning
Mm.
your shopping cart. So I think what they want to go away is the idea of just judging other parents for this. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, having the little kid there, I mean, you've already painted a scenario where, look, things happen, right? Intentionally, like if you're just doing it out of like personal selfishness, laziness, like yeah, that kind of sucks or whatever. Um, I mean, I'll say this, sometimes you just gotta let the situation dictate it. I can't believe this is coming up, but it happened. I literally a couple days ago, for the first time, used one of those automatic grocery store cart things. So what happened was, I was walking into the market, and this woman's like, "Excuse me," and then she asked me the weirdest question. She goes, "Are you going into the building?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going into Whole Foods." And she goes, "Well, will you mind driving this thing back?" And she had a cane, and it didn't occur to me right away, and I was just kind of like, I'm usually, I'm the pleaser, I'm the nice guy, I'm wishing everybody's whatever their faith is happy, blah blah blah, blank and so forth. And I found myself sitting in the thing going, okay, I'll do it, but part of me was like, I can't believe I'm freaking doing this. And then I found myself driving the thing back. And then as I was driving back, I realized, oh, she has a tough time walking. So, that's why she's like, I can't do it. I physically can't do it. Like the whole point of me using this card is because I don't move around well. But part of me too, when I was telling Brearley later, I was like, I would have loved if she would have been like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you driving this thing or whatever? So look, like people have for me as an able-bodied person, I actually, I find myself perhaps out of guilt, but out of a sense of just decency as a citizen of the world. I will take a cart and move it back. I've had employees, and I'm like, here you go, man. Let me help you. Because if we just all left our carts everywhere, then the supermarket parking lot would be like how these freaking Lime scooters are. And I hate how Lime scooters just get abandoned everywhere. It's like a joke. It's like a post-apocalyptic world where you're just like, oh, I had to leave this thing. Like, what the hell? So, if you can, if you're able-bodied, put that card away, even if it means driving it. Yeah, I drove it, Neil. You should have seen me. I was like driving this thing. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, it's a good day.
The next trend that they'd like to see go away in 2025 is food recalls. And the whole thing is
Hey,
a bit of a stretch. They're like the journalist said, I just got my kid to eat some vegetables, and now you're telling me you recalled carrots and broccoli. I'm like, that's not a parenting trend. That's just like, yeah, like we,
No,
yeah,
that's insane.
yeah.
That is not a trend. Do they mean announcing recalls? Is that what it is?
Well, I hope they announce them if they recall something, because what are they going to be like? Let's just kind of keep it on the DL, and then everyone gets sick. I hope they announce them if they have a recall.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable. That's like saying like, I hope another trend that goes away is my child crying. Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, that's crazy.
okay,
That's insane.
another trend that they're hoping goes away this year for parenting trends is no dad dinners. So this is a trend where moms will cook easy meals when dad isn't
Uh-huh.
home, like chicken
Uh-huh.
nuggets or cereal. And I
Uh-huh.
guess the whole thing, the point that the journalist was trying to make is like, isn't that just dinner? Why are they calling it no dad dinner? Just why isn't that just dinner?
Wait. So a no in this scenario, and they want this to go away, so they don't want. Do they not want chicken nuggets being made, or is the point that just because it's not like a quote grown up plate of food, it's
I guess
called a
it's like,
no
why do
dad?
you feel the pressure when dad's home to make a fancy dinner? Just make whatever whenever you want. Like, why are you calling it a no dad dinner?
Oh, I see. It look, I'll say this. I'm actually with this person to a degree because doesn't it feel like kind of old school 50s, like patriarchal, like, oh, well, you know, I have heard this phrase here and there around families and stuff. They'll be like, well, daddy wants steak. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, hey, I just got home from a hard day at work, and where's my martini and a big old steak? It actually sounds all delicious to me. But I don't need the cigar part. But yeah, I mean that feels like it's very dated and not really necessary.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's a
also
good segue to our final parenting trend that they hope
okay.
goes away this year, which is Tradwives, which I'm sure you've heard of those. Tradwives?
Wait, keep going. I
Tradwives.
learn things and I
You
forget.
don't know about Tradwives? Jesus,
I just
all
keep
right,
going. Keep going.
Tradwives, it's women on TikTok, Instagram who are kind of, I guess, glamorizing a 1950s lifestyle, being totally submissive to their husbands, and kind of pretending that it's just another way of being a stay-at-home mom. But really, what they're saying is that women shouldn't have the right to control their reproductive life or have a credit card if they don't have the permission of their husband or drive a car or learn to read or I'm just a trad wife. Hey. And so people are like, I want this trend to go away. I would agree. I think the trad wife trend should go away.
Yeah, I mean, is it more just like having a new way of identifying yourself? I don't know. Like I don't. I mean, look, I don't.
Oh,
I guess the real
Pro
question.
trad wife.
Well, I mean, look, it depends. It depends where it's coming from. You know what I mean? Is it just a way of describing someone who's made these choices on their own, or
No, I think it's a self descriptor. A lot of people call themselves trad wives. I haven't
mm,
really seen someone yet say, oh, they're like a trad wife who
right?
hasn't called themselves a trad wife. But I suppose it's out there. I don't know.
It's weird. I will say this. This is where it gets sticky. There seems to be a lot of. I mean, look, I'll just say it. It if this means we get into this freaking culture war nonsense, then I'm all about blowing it up. So you know what? I'm gonna say, yeah, I hope it does go away because I don't think anyone should have any defined role. What's a defined role? You know what? I'm me. This is what I do. By the way, too, that whole thing about like, oh, dad's not home dinner or whatever. This dad is usually home, and I'm actually usually going to the extra effort of making sure there's something I can and should and will eat. So we ended up having chicken nuggets and whatever I'm making. Maybe I'm a trad wife. I don't know. This is crazy stuff. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. Culture wars, Neil. I don't understand.
If there's any trad wives who are married to guys named Chad, maybe they could be a Chad wife, trad wife.
Yeah, You know what I think is really funny is when you meet people and they tend to be, I think, religious, and they'll they'll have stuff that they'll say like a child of God, husband to Mary Beth. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And you know what? Like, there's worse things to put in your bio, like me claiming Cooking Channel, and that's a network that's really sunset it sailed on that. So I'm not really, I don't have a lot of ground here, but I always thought that was funny. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should, I should work on my bio. My Instagram bio needs work. Needs work. It really does.
Okay. Well, those are the trends that parents.com hopes go away this year. So those are the parenting trends that they hope disappear. Thoughts?
Feels like it was kind of a big complainer. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just glad I had the opportunity to share with everyone that I got to try a motorized grocery cart. Have you ever done it?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's like you sit down. It's like, I mean,
Oh,
if
it
you,
sounds like Wall-E, the movie Wall-E.
I guess, yeah. It's like like you don't have to like push a cart. You sit in like a lawnmower. It's like a
Oh,
lawnmower with the grocery
okay.
basket on it.
Huh. I didn't realize that's what we were talking about, but interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. You don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I live in New
goes to
York.
yeah. It goes to show you I live in a live in the middle of America apparently. And this was in Whole Foods. It was
Huh.
at the nicest Whole Foods. The Domain. There's a design within reach nearby. I mean, premium stuff.
How close is it? You said it's within reach?
I'll be honest, it really isn't. I remember we went in there once, and I was like, I'm not spending $3,000 for a single chair. That's not going to happen. We spent $750 at a Pottery Barn, CB2. Maybe it was Pottery Barn.
So, moving on, because this is the trends episode.
Mm.
Those are the trends that they want to go away. But there's another trend. And this is an article I came across in the old gray lady, the New York Times. The article is called "The Next Parenting Trend Starts Before Conception," and this is an interesting one. We're going to get into some bioethics here. So there's a company called Orchid that claims that parents can now use genetic testing on their embryos before pregnancy even starts, and the goal is to be able to choose the healthiest embryos, but there are implications here. There are maybe unintended consequences of this because you can do a full DNA sequencing. And we're not just talking about like health tests. It starts to get into territory of like, can you choose different features? Orchid says that
Whoa.
they can sequence 99% of an embryo's genome, which is way beyond limited tests that IVF clinics usually offer. And these parents, they'll get reports on risks for over 1,200 genetic disorders, which is a great thing. We've talked about
Right.
disorders here. I have
Sure.
one, or I have the thing. I've got the Lynch syndrome thing.
Yeah.
It can sequence for heart disease, for schizophrenia, which I know is close to your heart.
Yeah.
Um, and so here's the brass tacks. Ready? Service costs $2,500 per embryo. All right. And it requires IVF. And this is even for couples who aren't having fertility issues. Obviously, we know that some couples use IVF because they have trouble getting pregnant without
Right.
it. But so
Right.
now you may or may not need IVF to get pregnant. But if you use this service through Orchid, you're required to use IVF. And look, the pros,
Whoa.
the folks who are in favor of this, they're saying, well, look, it's adding choice. We're pro-choice, right? We want parents to have a choice, and it's like kind of choosing a hospital birth or a home birth. Or do you want an epidural or do you not want an epidural? But
Right.
the critics are saying, yeah, no, this is going too far. This is like heading into Brave New World, Aldous Huxley territory. We should not be, choosing which embryos, we want based on certain features. And this is a slippery slope, and this is a bad thing. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to open it up to science and parenting expert Ali Khan to just kind of weigh in and tell us all how we should feel about this.
Well, Neil, I just want to say it is great to be here, and obviously, I've spent a lot of years in really just into the science of all this. Yeah, I mean, look, it's really comes down to this. You ask any parent of someone who's special needs, and they're going to tell you the merits of something like this for sure. But it is funny because we also live in a world that you know, um, of designer jeans. Do I sound dated saying that? But yeah, I mean, you just want to make sure. Look, there's literally the good and bad in it too, and it makes you wonder, like, how wait, is there like a moral line, and who's one to make that distinction? I personally, like, I don't know. I still remember seeing Gattaca, and I mean, what kind of world would it be if everyone looked like Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke? Where would I fit in?
I've
So
never
yeah.
seen Gattaca. Is that where they met? I know they were married.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know. It's 97, so
Okay.
it possibly tracks.
Okay.
Possibly tracks.
Okay.
God, didn't realize she was in the Dexter Resurrection thing. She's still out there working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think what it's for diseases, I think that as even though I am an expert in this field and
Of course.
I've spent years in science, um, you know, I feel like the whole disease thing, again, I think, look at people, we have friends, who have parents of kids or, have kids with special needs. Yeah, that's important. It's really important. But, if you're just, I don't know, there's a certain kind of magic to being like, oh yeah, I'm going to be, my kid ended up being taller than me, versus knowing that right away, or even worse, going, I have planned this out. Like, that just, but here's the thing is like, we always fear the new, and yeah, I just wonder, it's kind of funny to say, but are we as a society ready? That's fair to say, because there's a lot of hate and misjudgment in the world, and I don't know if we're ready to just control every lever like that. It kind of scares me a bit, but I think the disease thing is or just knowing about health issues. That's a no brainer. That I
Sure.
feel quite comfortable with.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and thanks for your expertise there. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of love on the TikTok for that.
Oh, here it comes.
All
Here
right.
it comes.
The last trend I want to talk about today in our very special Parent Trends episode. Have
Hmm.
you heard about this trend called Type C parenting? Type C
No.
parents? All right, well,
Type
I'll
C.
buckle up. It's making the rounds on TikTok, and it's called Type C parenting. It first, I guess, came to prominence from an article on PS Parenting by Taylor Andrews, and here's what it is. You've heard of Type A parents. These are the hyper organized. You got your color coded calendars. You've got maybe overscheduled kids. Very much policing the screen time. Those are your Type A parents. You got your Type B parents. You got the like, hey, let kids be kids. When I was a kid, I was out in the woods, like, just do your thing. We don't really do bedtimes. We just kind of like whenever they close their eyes. That's Type B. Well, here's
Uh-huh.
the thing. Type C. There is a middle ground, and it's called Type C parenting. And this sounds maybe like some of our listeners. So here's the idea. Type C parents, these are parents who embrace structure and chaos at the same time. They'll get their kids to a birthday party on time, but their kid might be missing a shoe. They'll bribe their kids with candy, but only if it's organic. And experts say, this is a whole method. It's about providing emotional support and resilience, but also setting clear expectations for your kids. So it's a mix of boundaries and flexibility. Kind of just sounds like being a parent, but
Yeah,
they're
pretty
calling it
much.
Type C parenting. So
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like type C is just really someone who's type A, but is also just admitting that they're human, right? I think it's someone who's who can get pretty anal about certain things, but at the same time, it's like, well, tomorrow's another day, and it does sound just like the realities of parenting. But I would have to say, I think I'm someone who is type C, but has the attitude of B. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to, um, pretend like, oh yeah, this is an absolute, really. But I'll be conscious of being like, well, we should be on time, and we do need this or that. I don't know. I'm just not that rigid of a person. I don't present type A. You know what I mean? I think all of us, all type C is just a way of kind of admitting that, things don't go according to plan. I think it's just being realistic. But I almost think too, it's more about setting setting the tone. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is the type of parent I am. You know what I mean? And I think just by nature of saying, hey, this is the type of parent I am, you're actually more type A than you realize. You know what I mean? You're just justifying real world stuff. So I think, like, I don't know. I'm a mix of B and C. And A doesn't really exist in any kind of perfect, but they're just high maintenance. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I think that's what it is. Just an excuse an excuse for some people to be like, "Yep, I'm pissed now. You didn't know I'm type A parent." You know what I mean? You said it was going to be at 3 p.m. at Chuck E. Cheese. Where is it? I don't know.
I don't think type A parents go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It depends.
All right, Ollie, what's Dad cooking? What's Dad cooking this weekend?
Oh my God, you literally just described what I would have to do for the next Substack post. I was actually interviewed the other day by someone from All Recipes, and they asked me something kind of funny. They were like, "What's the secret to making a really good pork chop?" And then I described a couple ideas, and then I realized, here's the key: is like, use fish sauce. I find myself going to the supermarket, buying out of a sense of affordability. And I have discovered a magical marinating formula of lime juice and fish sauce. It literally will transform the most basic, average, bland cut of pork into something amazing. And it's so funny whenever I go into stuff like this, I think about later if someone in the comments will be like, "You eat pork?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." But yeah, my kid also, he loves the Asian flavor profile. So I know, like, adding that, it's liquid umami, it's gold. Yeah, so probably something with fish sauce. Something with fish sauce.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming to our trends episode, everyone. And stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you've actually made it to minute 57, just, text us, DM us, Mom. Give me a call. And thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week.
I assume they must have been in traffic.